I'll just introduce Diane, who will now be talking to you about the exploration of this camera and the manipulation of architecture within this digital realm.
I'll start with camera exploitation, and basically I'll just next. Okay, I'll just start off. Perceptual threat in the architectural space has been rationally dominated by the mechanics of vision, the processes of the eye to the mind, where the eye and the body continuously tries to orientate itself in space by a rational perspective ordering process. However, more recently, people have been deregulating natural perspective and entrusting the use of new visual technologies to digitally reproduce the vision. Examples of this manipulation can be brought up through cameras and webcams and CCTV. Basically, the truth of what we see is no longer given by our eyes, but by the instruments and the scientific interpretations that view it. These prosthetic visual devices anchor natural perception from the field of the human body's natural capacities. Paul Virilio states that architecture in the digital age must do more than simply deploy the technical capacities of a computer in an effort to overcome constraints of form dictated by the properties of architecture's raw materials. In its context, Virilio states that the digital age must do more for architecture than create form, but to inform form itself. Watching and interacting with the inhabitant behavior of particular space in circular environments in the internet age is just as important as creation of built fabric, as the built fabric is the creation of social community. As new technology emerges, approaching to the digital era, the boundary between reality and illusion is blurred. The ideal of optical illusion applied to architecture is spanned by the use of the camera, whether it is to satisfy the eye or to bewilder the audience, as the camera adds power to either the image or the perspective, depending on the final desired result. Other uses are to correct the obscured perspective of reality, to elusively produce visual satisfaction through the photographic techniques and equipment, or post-production touch-ups. Architectural photography also captures and frames distinct perspectives and highlights certain elements which may be unnoticed when viewed. These can be a close-up of a specific detail or framing a certain perspective. To capture a holistic perception of a building, enriching the image with the surrounding context, to loosely surround the viewer, thus augmenting the experience of the building. Architectural photography enhances the complementary climate of architecture, which may not be available within the reality when seen. Different climates and its amplification of the architectural appeal and the complementing camera techniques create a deceptive view of reality. The use of light controls contrast, shadows, textures, and reflections. Using exposure compensation or even taking shots with different exposures and merging them together recreates a perfect shot, like a scene, exposing one for the highlights, one for the midtones, and one for the shadows. Compelling and beautiful photography. Do you add essence using composition, perspective, or other techniques to produce a compelling and beautiful photograph? Or do you prefer to show the scene as it is, or something that defects it from what it actually is? Since the physical buildings depicted in the consumer and architectural magazines are rarely experienced by the viewer, the architectural photographer plays an essential role in the creation of history. The photographer therefore becomes the lens through which we can observe and analyze the evolution of architecture. Reality is connected virtually and digitally, and through digital media such as CCTV cameras and photography, buildings and architecture can be experienced virtually. This designed to work with digital perspectives are installed for photographic perspective. Through exploiting the camera and its effects, it enhances the virtual experience, creating a translated virtual reality to digital means. Architecture is getting better at connecting, linking it in more environments and information to people all over the world. Augmented reality is a big reason why. And here's what's happening. Augmented reality is likely to have a major impact on buildings as more and more technology surfaces. Virtual reality can help us do things better. Virtual reality technologies are able to bridge the gap between getting rid of distance. Building occupants will be able to virtually travel to faraway lands. Just imagine seeing pigs like in your house. For example, technologies found within our buildings will be able to transport us back to the time of computer creation. They help us learn more about the history of the building. Architectural environments may not be limited to the real set of geographic coordinates. Virtual traveling within buildings will turn them into a sort of augmented reality, a sort of transport investment. Similarly, museums can make use of such augmented reality technologies. As museum visitors explore and exhibit, technologies can visit via augmented reality to help them learn and exhibit simple messages. Some few programs that will help architecture students as well through augmented reality and exhibitioning. Yeah, just do it. So, this is a program where you just load up any model that you design. No, what have you done? Yeah. And the digital model gets transferred onto a piece of paper where it could be visually viewed in 3D, and the building can be spun around. Just twist it. Hold it for a sec. Yeah, anyway. You hold the door like that, and then change it quiet. Alright, yeah, so that's just a basic example of how 3D models, augmented reality is helping 3D models just bring models to life. Alright, you see technologies that cater to augmented reality with such access portals like what you just saw that link you to information communities and destinations in real time. Such advances are changing the way you experience architecture. But are we satisfied by being tricked into thinking a structure is something that it's not through digital means? Questions like these raise more implications on whether the digital era would digital era would in fact questions like these raise more implications on whether the digital era would in fact kill the physical era. But in reality, they're mixing the digital and physical to create a new realm of opportunities. And a program like this where it just uses the webcam you have at home, and then you can just click the screen, the interface. Yeah. And I love the interface. And you can present as Iron Man. Alright. The word interactive is found everywhere these days. It may be worth considering what interactive actually means. Programs like this. I'll be Iron Man for now. Alright. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, so this actually questions what interactivity is and how augmented reality can actually bring your models, your designs, architecture a step further, a new dimension of it. Alright. Another way structures actually engage with the surroundings is like architecture deals with the people actually inhabiting its space. It actually reaches out to the society surrounding it. A way of doing this is actually the new media facades, the hyper facades that actually influence the urban fabric surrounding the structure. And here's a small video on one of basically mixing digital reality with already built structures